Hello and welcome all. I'm looking well, look like crap in the evenings as usual. This webcam does not do wonders, does not do me justice. I look terrible every time I appear in it. I blame the webcam. Because I at least don't look terrible in the standard camera. Yes, so this one, as you can probably tell from the title, is my thoughts on the new YouTube layout. I know most people don't like rants and moan about rants, so it's not going to be a rant, it's just going to be my thoughts on it. And you know what? Well, considering last update was absolutely bad, appalling, at least it was usable. We'll put it that way. I mean, now it seems to be, well, if you look at the homepage, it's nothing more than a clusterfuck of God knows what, just about every pile of shit there is going. I don't know what. Whoever designed it should frankly be sacked. To put it bluntly, it's plain and simple. I don't know. It's like YouTube's trying to drive themselves into the ground. It's ridiculous. It is probably one of the worst user interfaces I have ever had the misfortune to use. That's not an exaggeration right there. I would give it on a usability scale out of 10. When I'm feeling generous, I will give it a 3 bordering on a 2. And how I'm feeling at the moment, I'll give it a 2 bordering on a 1. I don't think it quite deserves a 1 even when I'm feeling really quite pissed off. But there's been some trouble with the submission of assessments, so I'm not in a particularly fantastic mood. I'm in a bit of a pissed off mood today, to be honest. However, there is, I don't know if you can call it progress, basically this is glued on and soldered in place, and I've soldered, you can't even bloody see it, this webcam, so crap. But it's easy. And a little wire to act as the on button. It's still glitchy as hell, so I need to probably just need some solder in those holes to connect up whatever's disconnected. I might get the multimeter on it in a bit and test it. But yeah, so what things have they done that have absolutely... Well, for one thing, you don't get notifications when you get mail or comments and that. You've got to manually and tediously look in the inbox. I can't be fucked with that every 5 seconds. I like to see a notification to at least say something has come in. Although their notifications have never been particularly good at picking stuff up, they seem to have figured out a way to make them worse. I think it's about 30% of the comments that normally get put up. If there's a big bundle, now it will barely do more than 1 or 2. It's like picking up something like 10% of comments that come in. It's like, It's like YouTube's trying to drive it into the ground. It's ridiculous. Then you've got, oh yes, their throttling of bandwidth. Now when I do speedtest.net, we have unrestricted bandwidth here in the halls, so you get an internet bandwidth rate of around 100 megabits per sec upload and download speed. Of course, when you're actually browsing the web, you don't get this because even some of the server surfaces don't offer that kind of speed to you. I think the best I've seen is about 20 meg from somewhere else. There isn't anything that offers Ethernet network speeds over the internet really yet. Maybe in the next few years. Either way, at least, so it's certainly not my end that has the issues. YouTube decides to throttle the bandwidth depending on what thing you're in, and you get that fun little stupid circle loading thing. Isn't that fun? It's like in the days of, you're on your crappy broadband connection, it can only handle half a meg, and you're trying to watch a porn video or a YouTube video, and you're sort of, why are you buffering? Reduce quality. No, it's at lowest quality. Buffering for about an hour, by which time you've lost your boner and all chances of having a successful wank. That's when the Google Images was the best option. And yeah, it's basically like that, but just not in pornography form. It's back to slideshows instead of videos. Fantastic! Well done on the progress, YouTube. I'm impressed at how bad you fail. Oh, it's appalling. What else is there? There's a few things. There's trying to think. There's something else that really grinds my gears. What is it? What is it? Oh, god damn it. Come on, think. Plug the hard drive in. What is it? I don't know what it really fits. I'm not sticking this down my ear or up my nose. Oh, these bottles get in the way all the time. But yeah, then there's the thingy. Yeah, it's yeah, the homepage is pretty much fucking useless. It might as well just be deleted. The subscriptions page, I just find that a pain in the arse. Meaning it comes out, then when you watch it, it disappears off there completely rather than say you watched it. And if you want to review people's stuff back, you gotta go manually clicking down the side. It's like, fuck that. So if you just happen to stop a video because you don't have time to watch it, good luck ever watching it again, unless you want to go individually, manually. It's just impressive. It's just horrible. Oh, the channels still look as generic can be. Oh. There is literally nothing positive about this new layout. Not one thing I can think of that is positive. It's a shame because I'd quite like to at least draw up one thing. I suppose if I really have to press myself for something positive, it would be they've moved the recommended channels out from the hidden corner that they were in before and put them as a larger thing down the side. Oh yes, the colour scheme. Awful. White with small text, the most unreadable colour scheme ever. I mean, yeah, I will say my websites have that horrible white backgrounds and black text, which I really need to change that because I'm not a big fan of it. Find something like grey or something. I'm a big fan of having like grey and black websites. It just works. I did want my computer one to have a background image, but that failed miserably with the HTML. I have to revisit that when I can be asked to actually bother with them. That's the trouble with websites. They take so much work to maintain. It's ridiculous. It's like, oh. So they get updated about yearly, probably. But yeah, the colour scheme, literally. The new layout, I don't just dislike it, I loathe it. It is horrible. There is nothing positive about it. I loathe it as much as you can possibly loathe something. Everything about it has been made more clunky. It's like it's what you'd expect from a fucking first version of the damn thing. Not, I don't know, version 10 or whatever the hell it is now. I don't know whether they even call it versions. It's just... it's just awful. I hate this interface. It's horrible. The quicker they do away, although when they do away with it, they'll probably put something even worse in its place, if that's even possible to make it even worse. Because command line would be better, because you can learn command. Command line would be a better interface than this YouTube interface, to be frankly honest. I much prefer Unix, the Windows CMD command line, even though I barely know much of DOS. BBC command line, far better than the YouTube interface. I can't really think of a worse interface, really. Oh, YouTube, if you watch, which I doubt they do, because they don't really seem to give a rat's arse about what people think. The majority users. Why? It's like, are you seriously trying to drive this site into the ground? Because if you are, you're succeeding. If you're not, well, guess what? You're going the way of driving this site into the ground, and it's a shame because there's nothing quite else out there that's really like it. So, I will continue to loathe the interface, but put up with it at the same time, somehow. And while the cause of this subject has been negative, let's say something positive, because negative is kind of gloom and doom. So let's get on some positive stuff. Like, because of the difficulties going with uploading, because someone in admin fucked up bad, don't know who, but that there'll be no penalties for late submissions, which is good. I've literally emailed my work off to it, the only option available. No one can print their header sheet, there's no method available. But I also went into the town today, among going to Poundland and buying some toilet rolls and some Doritos, which I ate. I also went to, Cash Converters, and picked up some PlayStation games. Unlike Non-Points Post 1975, there were no cool retro machines or anything like that. So I got this, which is Sega stuff on there. There's actually surprisingly less games than I thought would be on there. It says many more, but really there aren't that many more than on the list on the back. I'll also be getting the Xbox version at Christmas, probably. I also got this because this just looks awesome. I think it's a Japanese game, I'm not sure. It's based in Tokyo, so it's nice to actually have it based out the US. And we've got this obscure Japanese title, although the developers are Rockstar, so if it's developed by Rockstar, or at least has Rockstar in it, it should be decent, because Rockstar are normally very good at producing solid, interesting games. I have actually had a play on this, and I haven't played these two yet. Trouble is, I got back, fell asleep, got bored, I haven't really gotten bored, not really in the gaming mood at the moment, which is kind of annoying when you get new games like, I just don't feel like it. I've got bits of things over my floor because I've been trying to work out what's wrong with the multimeter that I did a video of. Can't figure it out. I think it might have something to do with the filter cap. I'm going to remove it from the circuit board and test it with my ESR meter that way, because testing it in circuit, it said it's fine, but measuring the power as it was running, it was rather unstable. The last digit was tinkering about bits, so there might be a problem in noise somewhere, which can be easily fixed by adding in new capacitors. And I do actually have some 10,000 UF capacitors as well at home. Runs max of 16 volt, but it's getting about 7 volts through it. I don't know if that's right or not, but upon testing the power supplies, they all seemed correct. So that's the positives. What else is there positive? I may have thought of a method to sort out this problem. I'm thinking, what if this silver stuff can be soldered to? Problem solved. I can just rewire this. I can just rewire it, done, sorted. Plug it back in, then we can have circuits again. I need to sort out exactly the damage on that board that's causing it. It's startup issues, and then that'll be happy. I reckon it's the same thing that happened to the Casso PV700, where a trace just got burnt through. Single trace. That's all that was needed to stop it from turning on. Oh. Still got all the crap up my nose from the virus. Yeah. There isn't much else really. I could just sit here and ramble for hours on end, and to be honest, I'm in the mood to do that. I do want to do a full overview of the circuitry of Huskies. The interesting thing is there doesn't seem to be much interest in the Huskies now. People have gotten bored of them. I don't know how. They're fascinating computers. How can you get bored of the Huskies? And we are up to 12 views, which is quite prophetic compared to other stuff which was uploaded around the same time. Well, a few hours difference. People just look at Husky and, no, it's the Husky! Hide under your tables, protect your children, not the Husky hunters from the Ypres. No. Well, guess what? There's going to be more coming, especially with a restoration on the thing. So for all those who don't like it, ha ha! That's funny. Mr. Disliker, who's been around, has been slacking lately. He's been missing a heck of a lot of videos. Yeah, he's made up for the odd few here and there, but that's about it. Oh, yes, the mystery disliker. I just find it funny. That there's someone who thinks, oh, yes, let's dislike every single video, and they can't even do that. I also really am craving to do some electronics projects. And no, that's not the Pixar lamp in the background, and the green thing sticking up is not a vibrator either. It's a thingy hole, it holds like kitchen rolls. Why did I even think that up? I'm bored. When I'm bored, my mind just thinks about smutty things. Because that's entertaining and funny. And whatnot. Do not store without the batteries. What bad advice, because batteries like to leak. Warning. Insert batteries this way. Or otherwise the device just does nothing. I've put them in the wrong way before, they don't do anything. It's got protection stuff and whatnot. Anyway, before I ramble on and bore everything at once to the point of suicide, I better actually let you all do your own thing. That's not scratched, and remember, you gotta have your tongue at the right angle when working on stuff. Night. I'm going to work on the Husky, because that's what I feel like doing, sort of. I want to work on the VFD clock, which I've been working on since I was bloody 15, still haven't finished the bloody thing. But anyway, thanks for watching, for those of you who actually stayed to the end anyway, which is quite an achievement. I'd better go before I bore anyone else to suicide. I can imagine just people behind the camera just downing bottles of drugs and, I don't know, making a makeshift guillotine out computer parts off with the head. Did I mention I have a bit of a dark sense of humour? Tonight, before we hit 20 minutes.